Have you ever wondered what makes a valid pullback? It's one of the most common questions I get in our Discord. And today, I'm going to break it down for you. We'll dive into the key elements that define a valid pullback and why it's crucial for your trading success. After that, I'll review Nasdaq's price action from Thursday, the 22nd of August, to show you these concepts in action. And before we jump in, a big shout out to JJ, the glitch trader, for passing his top step challenge in just 11 days, using all the moneymaker zones he could find. And mind you, he had no losing days. And also congratulations to Chai, getting funded with Apex using only the moneymaker model. Let's get started. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Everything we do here and even in our Discord community is completely free, no hidden cost, just pure value. If you're not part of our free Discord community yet, join us today. You'll find the link in the first comment below. And if you're interested in mastering our moneymaker setup, be sure to check out the playlist at the end of this video. It has everything you need to get started. Now, let's get into it. So, what is a valid pullback? Simply put, when we are bullish, we are tracking the last up closing candle and we are waiting for price to close a down candle under their low. So in this example, the last up closing candle is this one, not this one. Why? Because we are waiting for the last up closing candle and not the candle that puts the high, okay? So the last up closing candle, here's how to track it. We have this candle, when we have this candle that closed above its high, right? So the one we are waiting for price to close under is this one, okay? We have now this candle that put the high, but this candle didn't close above this last up closing candle. So this is still the candle that we are waiting for price to close under. So this bearish candle closed under this candle and it's still not a valid pullback. Why? Because this is not the last up closing candle and this one was. So when this bearish candle closed under this last up closing candle, now we have a valid pullback, okay? When we are bearish, we are tracking the last down closing candles and we are waiting for price to close a bullish candle above its high or their high, okay? So we're bearish here. So this candle closed under this candle. So we're waiting for price to close above here, right? We have now this last candle that put the low, but it didn't close under this candle. So we're still waiting for price to close above this candle. Why? Because this one never closed under this wick, right? So closing above this candle here is not a valid pullback, but we still wait for price to close above this candle. So if this candle closed under this one and also did the low, now a close above this candle will be valid. So the concept is this simple. Nothing else is needed. So you must be wondering now, okay, I understand what a valid pullback is, but how can I use this concept in my trading? So let me tell you, when we are bearish, for example here, a close under the low that was put after the valid pullback, right? So a close under this low will constitute our bearish zone. So this now, after this was a valid pullback, this now from the lowest low to the highest pullback high, right? This now will be our zone, right? How can we use it? We will put our limit as per our moneymaker model. We will put our limits at this 50% and we will take the one-to-one trade from this 50% here. We can target, if you are good with market structure and know how to read market structure, you can target the next week low. Vice versa, for when we are bullish, a close above the high that was put after a valid pullback will constitute our bullish zone. And we can trade it when price retraces to its 50%. So this will be our bullish zone. So when price will retrace to our 50%, we will enter limits here and we will take the one-to-one here. And again, if you are good with reading market structure, you can target the week high. Okay? So by just mastering this simple concept and mastering market structure, you can be profitable. Now, let's get to some examples, okay? So we had this downtrend, right? Here, this last candle was the last down closing candle because it closed under this wick, right? So the moment we close above it here, we will wait for price to come and close under this last low, right? So when we close under this last low, that's our break of structure, okay? So from this last low to this last high, higher high, okay, will be our bearish zone. So we will place our limit at this 50% because price will exactly retrace to the 50%, and you will either take the 1-to-1 for the zone as per the money maker, or if you want more RR, you can target now this new week low. Okay, so the week low is the wick that was put just before the pullback. So that's a 3R trade. Okay, 2.92 to be exact. Again, so now we close under this, right? And this was our last down closing candle. So the moment we close above it, and we closed above it here, right? So we wait for price to do what it wants to do. And the moment we close under this low, we have our new break of structure, right? And our new zone, bearish one. Okay? So the moment, again, price retraces to its 50%, we will take the 1-to-1 from the zone, okay? Or, again, target the week low. So for me, that's the best way of trading with the trend, and we keep doing this and abusing this till the trend changes. Bullish example. So price was doing higher highs and higher lows, right? So here we had this last up closing candle in this swing. So the moment we closed under it with this candle, right, we will wait for price to go back and close above this candle. So when it closed above with this candle here, right, you can see we have now our bullish zone. Okay, so we take the trade from the 50% and we target the 1-to-1 of the zone, right, or this week high. So as you can see, this is this simple. Now let's review yesterday's price action, backtesting style, as you guys love it. So we started the day here. We had this valid pullback here. We closed under this candle, right? So the moment we close above it, this is now my zone, bullish zone. Okay, so I'll wait for price to come to its 50%, and I'll give you guys some more rules you can use to have a higher win rate. Okay, so this candle didn't close under this, so no valid pullback yet, right? Now we have a valid pullback because this was the last up closing candle and we closed under it. So if we close above, that's my valid pullback. Okay, so we closed above. So we have this zone now. So I'm taking the 1-to-1 from the 50%. Now we have more rules as per the money maker, right? Because we know that this is all accumulation for price before they come mitigate this 50%. But we are taking our chances. Okay, so we're in our trade and that's a win, right? This is why the 1-to-1 is better than targeting the week high, because sometimes you don't know where market has shifted, and the 1-to-1 is like always given, right? So that's our first win for the model, right? Now you need to know that we have now this bearish zone because we closed above this last down closing candle. We closed above it here, and then we closed under this one, right? So I'm taking a trade from this 50% as well, but I'm also waiting for this trade. Okay, so this is a valid pullback, right? Because we closed above this one. So if we close under, it's a new zone. No close as of yet. So we are tagged exactly at this 50%, and that's our second win. Okay, so let's see what's happening again. Okay, so I just saw that we did a valid pullback here. We had a valid pullback, right? And we closed above this week high. Okay, so this was another bullish zone. Okay, so that was a bullish zone, and the one-to-one was given again. Okay, so that's 3 wins. Or you just keep taking these trades till you get a loss or the trend changes. Okay, so that's another zone, right? Price tags us at the 50%, and oh, actually it gave an instant one-to-one with one candle, right? So that's 4 wins. Okay, okay, at this moment I know that they are ranging, right? So no trades, wait for them to break the range, which they did here. So we had this last down close candle right here, and we closed above, and then we closed under. So that's a valid bearish zone. Okay, we don't mind this wick, just act like it never happened. So we closed here, and that's now our bearish zone. A tag in the 50%, and we take the one-to-one again. Okay, so no 50% tag. Okay, but we have now this valid pullback, and then we closed under it, so a new bearish zone, right? So we're taking the one-to-one. Okay, so that's our 5th win. Okay, and I'm still waiting for this trade. So I'm tagged in now, and another win. Okay, so imagine you just apply these simple concepts and you're up 6 hours before the day even started. Okay, so if you study the moneymaker, right? So we know that this was the first step for this moneymaker A++ zone with accumulation and displacement, right? So when they tap this 50%, we no longer trust these zones because they might be traps and they may be now turning bullish, right? So we just wait and see what's happening now. Okay, although you could have taken like this one-to-one and still have a win, right? But I'm not counting it because rules are rules. Okay, now that we closed under this low, right? So now I'm sure price is now bearish. Okay, so now I'm either waiting for this zone to get tagged at its 50% and take the one-to-one, because this is my last zone, right? Or I will wait for a new zone to be created. Okay, so no valid pullback as of yet. We didn't close above this down candle. We did a valid pullback here because we closed above this valid candle. So if we close down again, that's my new zone. Okay, so no close as of yet. Now we closed, right? So if I get a 50% tag, I will take the 1-to-1. Okay, so they just fell down before tagging the 50%. Okay, so what do? We take the last week low, and now we have a valid pullback because we closed above this candle. So now we have our new bearish zone. Okay, so we have now a new valid pullback. So it's either they tag us in this trade or we have a new zone. Okay, so no tag as of yet. Now we are in, and that's the first loss. Okay, cool. Now that we had our first loss, we have now our bullish zone. Okay, so if they tag the 50%, we're in. Okay, so we're in, and that's another win. Okay, 7 wins, 1 loss. Right? So if they close above this, we have our new bullish zone. That's our new bullish zone. Okay, so either 50% tag or a valid pullback. Right, so we closed under this last up closing candle. We closed under here, so that's our new valid pullback, aka our new zone. Okay, so we have our new zone, and we're taking the 1-to-1 again. So we're tagged, and another win. Okay, so the moment we close above this high, we have now again our new zone, because that's again a valid pullback, because we closed under all of these candles. So that's for sure a valid pullback. Now we have a valid zone. Wait for the 50% tag again. We're in, and that's a loss, right? That's a loss. Why? Because we have some unmitigated zones under, and we kind of know with the money maker that this is an A++ zone, right? And we kind of know with the money maker and the golden bullet, we kind of know that this never mitigated the discount of this swing. So we kind of was waiting for discount tag right here. So price here will either mitigate the 50% of this zone, or it can stop at discount for this whole swing, or touch the golden zone and then fly. So this is 0.62 on the fibs, right? Well, let's see. So let's delete all of this. If we're tagged at this 50%, we're in, or you could have taken a golden bullet trade, because this swing is so big, they might just mitigate something here and go up again. So the golden trade is to take the trade from the 0.62 level and target the week high. Okay, so exactly, we turned at the golden level, as you can see, right? And that's a win, right? But I won't count it, because that's another model, right? Let's just keep waiting for our model to show again. Okay, so that's our new bullish zone right here. If they tag the 50%, we're in. Okay, well, that's good, they are accumulating. All right, but where is the so we had like a valid pullback in here and we closed above, right? So this is now a new bullish zone, although as per the money maker and the glitch setup, we never trust a zone that has an unmitigated glitch under it or an unmitigated origin under it. This will act as a magnet for price to take all of these stops, right, as inducement, liquidate all these traders, and they will turn from here or just the golden level again. Okay, so we will still take this trade, right, because we are just trading the gold or the valid pullbacks. Okay, so as you can see here, we had this last up closing candle here and we closed under here. So this is a small mini valid zone, right? If we get a tag, we're in, and that's an instant loss. So that's why we don't trust the zones that are just above unmitigated zones, right? But let's count the loss, right? So that's 3 losses. Okay, right? So again, they mitigated the golden bullet level and they are still trending up, right? So when market is trending, you bring your golden bullet fips and you forget about your 50%. But if you want to learn about the golden bullet, there is a video in my channel explaining it and going over it, so you guys can have a trade every time and every day. Okay, those models cover most of what price action is usually doing. So that's our new zone, and we're tagged at this 50%, and we have our 1-to-1. So that's 9 wins, 3 losses, right? Okay, so here for me this is still a plus with accumulation and displacement, and if we target or if we get tagged in this 50%, I will still take that trade. Okay, now since we had this bullish zone and we closed under it, now it turned to a bearish zone, right? So if they don't tag this 50%, I will still take this bearish zone because that was our last valid bearish zone. So we're tagged in and that's a win, right? And we're tagged in again, and this was my last or my only trade yesterday in London, right? I waited for this 50% tag and took the 1-to-1. I remember this trade because it was a win, right? So that's 2 wins in a row. Cool. By the way, shout out to the guy that showed me this indicator, because before that I was doing it the dinosaur way. I was just typing it by manually. Shout out to the guy that gave me this indicator. Love you, man. Okay, so now that we tagged the 50%, we stop trusting bearishness here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're still here. Okay, did we close above there? No, not yet. Did we close now? Yes, we closed. So that's maybe our next bullish zone. Okay, and price is just flying now. Okay, so we either wait for this mitigation here or a new valid pullback and new valid zone to be created. So that's a valid pullback because we closed here, But if you guys remember, we closed under or above this higher time frame high, so the zones here we can't trust anymore, but we can trust this 50% of this whole zone now. Okay, let's see what's happening. Sorry. So we get tagged in here. Cool. And that's another easy win. Okay, that's how people are getting funded easily with the moneymaker system, and that's how we're all making money to change our lives, right? So this is now a new zone. Okay, that's not a valid pullback, right? But this one is, right? But as I always tell you, we don't trust these zones, but I'm still taking them in for this video. Okay, so where are we? Okay, cool. We're taking now this higher time frame high. Okay, so things can be messy because we can start accumulating in here, not doing anything special, right? But let's see if this zone works out. Okay, so right, so they just golden bullet it, and they are still trending now. New bullish zone, right? So again, was it a valid pullback, right? So we never closed above this up candle, we never closed above it, right? And we never closed under it, so this is not a valid structure, right? So this is still our valid structure, right? Now this is a valid pullback, right? If we get the 50%, we're in. Okay, cool. And that's our new loss again. So we're, when price is like overextended up, we don't trust these zones because we have large unmitigated zones under that will pull the price in. Okay, so as you can see, this non-valid zone gave the one-to-one. So that's why you see me, guys, sometimes still taking the unvalid zones, right? Not that I changed my system, but sometimes I still take those zones, right? So we had this bearish zone, but this one we will never take. Why? Because we were trending up, right? So the first flip, especially if we were mitigating a zone under the zone, so the first flip is just a run on the stops and is usually a fake flip. So you never take this flip, right? You just wait for them to create a new zone, bearish one, for you to trust, okay? Or they will just take this high and then you'll have a better zone to trade, okay? We have something else now here, is that we took this higher time frame high. So now we are likely accumulating, right? So let's just wait and see what price is doing. So as I told you guys, the first flip when we are trending and we flip bearish, the first flip is usually a fake flip, especially we didn't have a zone in here, right? So that's why it was a fake flip, right? But if they do another flip, I may be trusting it. Okay, now we had this bullish zone here, okay, but the problem is that we had news at 8:30. Okay, so I was waiting here now for price to show me more information. I was not, right? So I was waiting for news to happen, which saved me from this bullish loss, okay? But now I had this bearish zone and this bearish glitch zone, okay? So news happened, right? And they mitigated this 50% and also this 50%, right? So news manipulations are usually price going to mitigate something that they left unmitigated, and then it will resume its way, okay? So news happened, right? And I was here and I just decided to take this short from this glitch zone. This was like very risky, but it worked out in one candle, right? It was so fast. I took it with small risk, like I took it with very small risk. No, it was not a problem. So that was another trade I took yesterday. Also, the guy that took this trade, it was a valid pullback trade. So also these guys got their win, and that's why I took it here, okay? So when price mitigated this 50% and went up, right? So this glitch worked, but for me, we were kinda bullish because we had this hidden bullish zone in here, right? So I was just still waiting for price to do something. That's something I will, guys, teach you later. But I was waiting for more information about price, right? Or I was waiting for price to close under this to confirm bearishness, okay? So we had normally this bullish zone or bearish one here. So we could have taken a 1-to-1, right? So that's a 1-to-1 instantly, okay? So that's 14 win. Respecting the valid pullback model, right? Well, if they close under here, I will take another short. But they resumed going bullish, so they reacted from the 50% of this hidden SNDR, this wick, okay? And now we have, let me clean this for you guys first. Now we have this bullish zone, okay? So they never mitigated, okay? So we had this valid pullback in here, and this was our valid zone, and it gave another 1-to-1. So that's 15 wins, right? Okay, so if they come back to this 50%, we'll have another win, right? Or another trade, sorry. So we're in, and that's our 16th win, right? So easy. Okay. So they're maybe turning bearish now. Okay, so we close under all of this, and now we are definitely bearish. Okay, so we're waiting for a valid pullback or a mitigation of this now bearish zone. Okay, so no valid pullback as of yet. Now we have a valid pullback because we closed finally above this. Okay, so that's our valid zone, bearish one, right? So we tap the 50%, and that's our 70th win. Cool. All right, so we have now our bullish or bearish new zone. But what I can see is that we had this bearish glitch, right? We had this bearish glitch, and the 50% of this glitch was unmitigated, right? So this is normally a zone I don't take because I don't trust the zones that are just under an unmitigated glitch, right? So I will take it from this 50% and never take it from here. But I will just take it from here for you guys because we're not knowing about anything and we're just trading actually the valid pullback model, okay? So that's an instant loss, right, for the valid pullback model. And that's a win for the glitch and the glitch Pro Max. The glitch Pro Max is nothing but taking it from the glitch and targeting the week high. So that's a 3-hour trade in this example, okay? That's why I tell you guys to watch all the videos, because in all the videos you will have enough information for you to up the win rate. The win rate is still good, but you have enough information in the videos to up the win rate even more, right? So this was my last new zone now, okay? So price is just dipping, right? So we had this, no, this was our last down close candle, so this is not a valid pullback yet. Okay, no valid pullback yet. Okay, so I just forwarded the price for you guys because I don't want this video to be any longer than this, right? So price never created a valid pullback or mitigated something, right? So that's why I just forwarded the price and closed without any more setup. But we still had 17 wins and 5 losses, which is very profitable if you are risking the same amount of trade or money every trade. So that's how we do our risk management, and that's how we approach it. We risk the same amount of money per trade. So if the zone is big, we take it with micros, and if the zone is small, we usually take it with minis, okay? And there you have it, 17 wins and 5 losses, just by understanding the basics of valid pullbacks. But here's the kicker. If you apply the rules from our moneymaker setup, those losses could have been reduced to 0 or 1 max. This just goes to show how powerful and profitable these strategies can be when used together. So, if you haven't already, dive into the moneymaker setup and refine your trading even further. You will find the playlist in which I teach the moneymaker in the end screen of this very video. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and join our free Discord community for more tips, strategies, and supportive trading environment. See you in the next one. Ciao ciao.